What is up guys, my name is Chase and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my entire Nintendo 64 collection. Before we begin, I should mention that when the Nintendo 64 was first released, I was nowhere near being birthed, so these are actually all of my older brother's Nintendo 64 games, and they've pretty much just been passed down to me. Anyway, first things first, I guess we should start off with the Nintendo 64 console. As you can see, this is the Pikachu edition. I really like the design of this N64. Even though I know nothing about Pokemon, I at least know Pikachu. And this 3D design is so cool. Even the power button is a little Pokeball. So this is a really nice Nintendo 64 console. And this wooden N64 game case is actually, once again, my brother's. It's really cool because you open it up and it holds a bunch of N64 games. Unfortunately, Nintendo 64 games don't have N labels, so I don't think these are going to be in alphabetical order. So the games are going to be as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. And oh boy, our first game is Super Smash Bros, the original one. It's so crazy to see where Smash Bros actually started, and honestly trying to play Smash Bros with the N64 controller, it's so weird. But it's really cool to see like the humble beginnings of the Smash Bros series. So this is a really cool game to have. Next up, we have, wow, Super Mario 64, banger after banger. I've said this a million times, but I would literally put in this copy of Super Mario 64 and I would just play with Mario's face and I thought that was the whole game. I would be sitting there pulling on Mario's nose or something and I was just like, this is a cool game. And I'm honestly a little bit embarrassed to admit that I did not complete Super Mario 64 until like 3 years ago. I did it on my Twitch stream when Super Mario 3D All-Stars first came out, but now I can finally call myself a gamer because I actually finished Mario 64. Also, this is the player's choice version of Mario 64. Next up, we have, wow, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And it looks like my family got this used because there's the used GameStop sticker on the back. Wow, what a throwback. Once again, I am pretty embarrassed to admit that I did not finish Ocarina of Time until, I think, last year. The first time I ever beat Ocarina of Time was on the Nintendo Switch Online app. Once again, we beat that on stream. And so it's pretty cool to say that I have finally played through this classic video game. Also, this cartridge is like gold, which is kind of cool. Speaking of gold cartridges, we have The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I always thought this was so cool because I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the cover is like holographic. The holograph cover is actually really cool. I'm like in a trance. It also freaked me out. Majora's Mask was so scary to me when I was a child. I never ever wanted to play this game because I was so terrified of Majora's Mask. Actually, I think I remember there was one time when I was a kid when I was like feeling especially brave and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see what this spooky game is all about, and I popped into the N64. I didn't know what the heck I was doing because I barely knew how to play video games. So I've probably like seen Majora's Mask before, but I've never actually played it myself. I don't know, timers in video games really stress me out, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to play through Majora's Mask ever in my life. Our next game is Namco Museum 64. I don't think I've ever actually played this game. Not gonna lie, even the cover looks kind of boring to me, but apparently it includes Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxian, Pole Position, and Dig Dug. Yeah, I don't know, I don't think I've ever actually played this game, especially considering that I was very young when I was playing N64 games. This cover probably did not interest me at all. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but this is a video game. Alright, we have, ooh, Yoshi's Story. So funny story about this one, pun intended. You can actually see there's a GameStop used sticker on the sides here. I actually vividly remember buying this game from GameStop. My grandma took me to GameStop one day and they had a clearance bin filled with N64 games, and this was the game that I picked out. And what's even funnier is that when I went to my grandma's house and popped this in the N64, the whole game was in Japanese. And because everything was in Japanese, like even the menus, I could not figure out how to get it back to English. I couldn't read any of the dialogue or any of the instructions or anything. It wasn't until I got to high school and took a Japanese class when I could finally change the language settings back to English. Anyway, so that's Yoshi's Story. Not gonna lie, I have not beat this game though. Next up, we have Pokemon Snap. I mentioned earlier that I know nothing about Pokemon, so of course I did not play this game. But I know that this game is considered a classic. You know, new Pokemon Snap came out what, 2 years ago, I think. But this is like an interesting concept for a game, especially considering how many Pokemon there are, you know, so it just makes sense that you would go around taking pictures of them. So there's Pokemon Snap, I talked about it. Next up, we have, Pokemon Stadium. Basically copy and paste what I said for Pokemon Snap for Pokemon Stadium. I know nothing about this game. I can tell you that there is a Blastoise, I think, and a Charizard. We at least know that that is Charizard. I can pretty confidently say that that is in fact Charizard. But I don't know, there's Pokemon Stadium. Next up, we have, oh boy, Pokemon Stadium 2. Once again, copy and paste everything I just said. But this one's cool because it has a gold and gray cartridge, and the art on the front is all shiny, so that's kind of cool. I like this game, if anything, for the artwork. Honestly, I can't even tell you what Pokemon those are on the front. School me about Pokemon in the comments. Next up, we have, Mario Party. Absolute classic. Obviously, we all know about Mario Party by now, and this is actually where it all started. I'm not gonna lie, I did not play much of the original Mario Party, and looking back at some of the gameplay, I feel like they were still trying to figure out how to make Mario Party like Mario Party as we know it today. But yeah, it's cool to see where Mario Party started, and spoilers, this isn't the last we'll see of Mario Party in this video. Next up, we have Mario Party 2, yay! This is the Mario Party I probably got the most out of. We have GameStop stickers plastered all over it. But yeah, Mario Party 2 was probably the N64 Mario Party that I played the most. All of the different lands that you could choose were really cool. I liked all of the different themes. You know, the whole concept of these mini storylines on the boards and you're trying to become the big hero. I thought it was really cool. And of course, all of the mini games are just classic Mario Party games. So at least for me, Mario Party 2 is the definitive Mario Party on the N64. And speaking of which, we also have Mario Party 3. I think out of the 3 Mario Parties, Mario Party 3 is probably the one I am least familiar with. Yeah, I don't think I played much of Mario Party 3. Like, I don't even think I could tell you much about this game. I vaguely remember playing some of the mini games when I was younger. I think there were some really fun, like, 2v2 mini games in this one. But for the most part, once again, I think Mario Party 2 was like my go-to Mario Party on the N64. So unfortunately, don't know much about Mario Party 3. Next up, we have Mickey's Speedway USA. I cannot tell you anything about this game. The only thing I can say is that based on the cover art here, this was made by Rare. What an interesting game for Rare to have made. I don't know, I'm guessing it's just a pretty standard like Disney racing game. Yeah, once again, I genuinely do not know what to say about this game, but it's in my childhood collection. Next up, we have Mario Tennis. I do actually remember playing this game. I actually really like the Mario Tennis games, and to be honest, I think the reason why I like Mario Tennis games is because it is just very straightforward and simple. For the most part, the only thing you have to do in tennis is run to the ball and press A, so I think especially these early Mario Tennis games were probably very simple. Next up, we have Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. I actually did not play this game either, which is a total shame because nowadays I love Kirby, and I would probably love this game so much. Maybe we'll even stream it, I don't know. But I'm not gonna lie, my best guess is that when I was a kid, I probably saw this cover and I thought it was like a baby's game and I didn't want to play it. Especially since it's all pink, like that probably just made me not want to play the game. If I could just go back in time and slap younger Chase in the face. But I believe this is one of the very few 2D games that are on the N64. A lot of the games on the N64 focused around like being 3D because that was the big trend at the time. Just make a bunch of 3D games, that's the future. So there weren't that many 2D games, and I think Kirby 64 is actually one of them. Next up, we have, oh boy, Madden Football 64. There's actually a little price tag stuck on here. So I actually bought this somewhat recently. This definitely was not a part of my childhood collection. I bought this from a local thrift store, and apparently I got it for $3. So we got just a random N64 game for $3. That's pretty cool. And then next up here, we have Paper Mario, the original one. This was actually the last N64 game I played on the original console, and it wasn't until somewhat recently when I actually beat this game for reals. I really enjoy the Paper Mario series. It's so humorous and charming to look at, so it's really cool to see that this is where it all started. Next up, we have Mario Golf. Not gonna lie, I don't think I played much of this one. I was probably more of a tennis guy. So I honestly can't tell you much about my personal experience with Mario Golf. It's actually funny to see so many of these Mario spin-offs on the N64. So there's Mario Golf. Next up, we have, Mario Kart 64. I'm gonna be totally honest, this is a game that I remember playing, but I didn't play very much. I've mentioned this a few times, but I was a huge fan of Thomas the Tank Engine when I was a kid, so the few times I actually played Mario Kart 64, it was only to try and race the train in Calamari Desert. But I mean, Mario Kart 64 is like such a great little party game, especially since the N64 was the first console to have full 4-player controller support. Mario Kart 64 is definitely a fun time to have a bunch of friends play, and actually this would be the first ever like 3D Mario Kart game. So shout out to Mario Kart 64. Next up, we have Diddy Kong Racing. This one seems to have some GameStop used stickers around. Not gonna lie, I don't think I even played Diddy Kong Racing at all. I feel like most people were either Team Mario Kart or Team Diddy Kong Racing on the N64, and I was definitely a Mario Kart kid. But I mean, what an interesting game, you know, it's made by Rare. We see Banjo in this game, and Conker, so at the very least, I can respect Diddy Kong Racing. Next up, we have Donkey Kong 64. This is a game that I remember popping into my N64, running around as Donkey Kong, and then giving up. And apparently I hear that is a lot of what Donkey Kong 64 is. It's a lot of like running around and collecting bananas and stuff. It seems very collect-a-thon heavy. So I guess I at least have an excuse for not playing this game. It does come on a yellow cartridge though, which is really cool. Next up, we have Rampage World Tour. Once again, look at all these used stickers. This was the first and only Rampage game I've ever played, and actually me and my brother used to play this game a lot. I remember you can play as all these characters and you're like puking, and it's very like humorous and like it definitely feels very 90s. Oh, and it's rated T for teen. Why the heck were we playing this game? But yeah, this game definitely has at least some like sentimental value for me. Next up, we have Hey You, Pikachu. This is a game that I've tried to play multiple times, but I could never ever get it to work. I don't know why, like, I had the whole microphone accessory and everything, but every time I would plug it into the N64 and try to talk, nothing would happen. I remember when I was a kid, I would get so frustrated at this game because I just didn't know what to do. I had this stupid yellow microphone. I was trying to talk to Pikachu, like, it was just a mess. Next up, we have Banjo-Tooie. Look at that. And possible spoilers, I don't think we even have Banjo-Kazooie in this collection. We at least have Banjo-Tooie though. Once again, I am embarrassed to admit that I did not play Banjo-Kazooie until I think 1 or 2 years ago we played it on Twitch. So there's no way I know anything about Banjo-Tooie. I can at least say that I enjoyed my time playing the first Banjo-Kazooie, so maybe I'll have to give Banjo-Tooie a try. Next up, we have Bomberman 64. I have a pretty huge confession to make. I'm not the biggest Bomberman fan. I feel like if I had a party of people playing Bomberman, I could probably find some fun out of it. It just wouldn't be like my go-to game, I guess. I find Bomberman to be a bit difficult, if anything, just because it's hard to like keep track of everyone on one screen. So I don't think I played much of Bomberman 64. Sorry if I upset a fan base. Next up, we have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Me and my brother used to play this game a lot. Looking back at it, this was like a very just stripped down, like bare bones Tony Hawk game. But even as someone who didn't know much about skateboarding, I still had a lot of fun playing this game. And just like Donkey Kong 64, it has the yellow cartridge, so that's cool. Next up, we have Rugrats in Paris, the movie, the game. I think I probably played this game a little bit, like I vaguely remember playing some of this game. I don't think I played much of it, like I definitely don't think I finished it, but I was pretty into Rugrats when I was a kid, and I really like this game because it has a black cartridge. That looks really cool, not gonna lie. Next up, we have Monster Truck Madness 64. Once again, this is another game that has a price sticker on it, so I'm pretty sure I got this game the same time that I got Madden Football 64. And this one, once again, was $3. I probably just bought these games just to fill out my collection. In fact, I believe I tried playing this on my Nintendo 64 and it just didn't work. So I genuinely can't tell you anything about this game. I'm guessing it has monster trucks in it. Oh wow, and it's made by Rockstar and Microsoft on a Nintendo console. That's kind of interesting. And then the final game in my Nintendo 64 collection is
Gex.
This is Gex 64 Enter the Gecko. I know Gex is a big meme, especially in like the YouTube gaming community for some reason, but I remember genuinely trying to play this game when I was a kid, and I probably did not get very far because I can't tell you much about it. I remember that there was like a hub world to explore, and then you would go into these levels, but I know I didn't get very far. But yeah, there you have it. there's Gex. Alright, so that wraps up my entire childhood Nintendo 64 collection. This definitely brought back some memories for me, playing these N64 games with that weird controller. Those were the good old days. What is up guys, my name is Chase, and for this video we are going to be doing the same thing except with 3DS games. So I was there for the 3DS on day one, back when there were hit games like Pilot Wing Resort. It was pretty sad times, not gonna lie. But over the years, I have gotten my hands on quite a few 3DS games, so let's dive into some video games, and this is my entire Nintendo 3DS collection. So first things first, we have an absolute classic 3DS game, Animal Crossing New Leaf. This game came out 2013 in the US, so I would have been 14 years old, and it was basically the first Animal Crossing that I could actually dive into fully. A lot of the previous Animal Crossing games, especially Wild World, while I did spend a lot of time in it, I didn't really play it, I think, properly because I was just a kid. But with New Leaf, it was the first time I got to fully immerse myself in the Animal Crossing games. This game was interesting, if anything, because you could actually be the mayor of your little town. So you were able to enact a bunch of town ordinances. It was the introduction of everybody's favorite character, Isabelle. I personally really liked retail, which was basically a recycling shop, and they would give you more bells for iron and stuff than the Nook store would give you. But that's Animal Crossing New Leaf. I had so much fun with this game. Next up, we have a game that I got pretty recently, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I didn't really feel the need to get this game because I already had the game both on Wii U and Nintendo Switch, but now for whatever reason I decided to right my wrongs and actually get it on 3DS. It's actually pretty crazy that this game came out on 3DS. In fact, I remember this was a dual launch with the Switch version, so they were still supporting the 3DS even a year into the Switch, which is pretty surprising. But yeah, I would argue that this is probably the best way to play this game with how short the levels are, and they are very small puzzle based levels, especially with the touchscreen on the bottom. It feels like a perfect fit on the 3DS. Here we have it. Next up, we have Chibi Robo Ziplash.
This game blows!
I wanted to get this game, if anything, just for posterity's sake. From what I hear, this game is terrible. I've never actually played a Chibi Robo game in my life, so I feel at some point I do want to actually give this a proper go. But I mean, researching the history of Chibi Robo, it's very interesting that this game even came out. I remember there was a lot of hype around this game around the time when it was coming out, so this is just a very interesting and weird game. I would like to try it out sometime. Speaking of games I would like to try out, we have Kirby Planet Robobot. I hear that this is one of the best Kirby games ever. I was honestly never into Kirby too much. The first Kirby game I played was Kirby Star Allies on the Switch, so I did not even get a chance to, even try this game out. This game is starting to become a bit more expensive for the 3DS, so I wanted to make sure I get it before the prices go skyrocketing. But I don't know, from what I've seen, this looks like a very, very fun Kirby game. And on that same page, we have Kirby Triple Deluxe. Once again, never got to play pretty much any Kirby game before Star Allies, so obviously did not even try out Triple Deluxe. So if I'm not mistaken, from what I hear, Triple Deluxe was kind of a good baseline Kirby game for the 3DS, and then Planet Robobot was, what really excelled the gameplay. And I believe this would have been hot off the heels of Return to Dreamland, if I'm not mistaken. And from the screenshots and gameplay I've seen, it seems pretty similar to that game. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. I actually bought this game digitally because I believe there was a sale or something, but I did want a physical copy of it because, me, all about wasting space with plastic. I had a pretty fun time with this game. It did feel a bit too, similar to A Link to the Past for me. I don't know. I mean, obviously we have a lot of really cool mechanics in this game, but the fact that it pretty much reuses the world from A Link to the Past, I kind of wish it was something brand new. And the whole thing where you're switching between two different worlds, once again, feels very similar to A Link to the Past. But I mean, hey, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy this game. I did have a really good time playing this game. I hope that someday we get another 2D Zelda game and it continues to really evolve from this game as well as A Link to the Past. But this is a pretty fun game. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. Not gonna lie, still have yet to finish this particular game. We played the original Ocarina of Time on stream using the Switch Online N64 app, but I'd never actually finished Ocarina of Time 3D, which from what I hear is like the definitive way to play this game. There's a lot of like little improvements in the gameplay, especially with the gyro on the 3DS. So I would like to at least play through this game once on the 3DS, if anything just to see how it differs from the original N64 version. But yeah, I think this was like my first time buying a Zelda game. Never finished it though. Ooh, I was so excited to get this game. Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS. This is like a remake of the GameCube game. Once again, I only just recently got this, so I haven't had a chance to try it out yet, but as soon as I get the chance, I do want to try out this game. I super duper love the original Luigi's Mansion. I try to make it a point that every Halloween I play through the entire game, and what's really cool about Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS is that the original GameCube version was planned to have actual like stereoscopic 3D, but they couldn't do that on the GameCube, so this is like coming full circle and actually bringing 3D to the original Luigi's Mansion, which is very cool. And then on the flip side of that, possibly my least favorite Luigi's Mansion game, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Granted, there are only 3 of them, but I do consider Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon to be a bit more forgettable than the other games. When we first heard that there was going to be a sequel to Luigi's Mansion, like I think 11 years after the original one, I was super duper hyped. Obviously, when I got this game, I binge played it the day that I got it, but honestly, after that first playthrough of this game, I never really had any like strong urges to go back and play it again. I think the fact that it's on the 3DS, you know, a portable system, it didn't really stick out to me as much. I felt like a lot of corners had to be cut. I mean, especially playing Luigi's Mansion without a second stick is kind of like off-putting for me. I don't know, maybe one day I'll actually have to give it another go. Still had so much fun with it, but I don't know, I think the first and third games are so much more memorable. Speaking of memorable games, we have Mario Kart 7. This is probably my most played 3DS game. When I was a freshman in high school, I would pull all-nighters with some of my friends playing Mario Kart 7, literally playing this game until the sun came out. I would say Mario Kart 7 is like the Mario Kart that really got me into Mario Kart. Graphics-wise, I think it's very impressive to see this game running on the 3DS. I think Mario Kart 7 has one of the best rainbow roads. It introduced some mechanics that, you know, we all have pretty much become accustomed to, like the gliding and underwater driving. I just love Mario Kart 7. This is a good game. But you want to know what a bad game is? We have Mario Sports Superstars. Now, to be fair, I have not played this game yet. This was one of my more recent 3DS purchases, but from what I hear, this game is just not good. I would like to give it a try, but from what I hear and, you know, what I've kind of noticed from watching the trailers, this game tries to fit a bunch of sports into one game, and what that means is that each sport just is not fleshed out at all. So this is just weird. I don't know. This was a weird game, and it was also when we got those Mario Sports cards. Next up, we have New Super Mario Bros. 2. Not gonna lie, even when I heard the concept of this game, I was not too excited about it. It's basically New Super Mario Bros. Just with coins. And that's pretty much what it feels like playing it. I couldn't really tell you any of the levels in this game, because it basically just feels like more New Super Mario Bros. But with coins. I think I played through this entire game in like one sitting. But I mean, you know, there were cool things about it. The coin flower was very just crazy. You could turn everything into coins. So I don't know, this was just an interesting game. I do love 2D Mario, so I can't complain too much about this. Next up, we have Shovel Knight, which I actually got as a birthday present from my cousins. If my cousins are watching this, thanks guys. I still do have to finish this game though, but it's a very like interesting concept, especially coming from an indie studio. I don't know, I just have to hop back into this game and finish it. There's so many games I don't even know what to do with myself. Next, we have Super Mario 3D Land. This was one of the first games, I think, that I actually went to a GameStop on launch day and like waited outside for. I was so excited for this game. I remember remember when that first teaser image showed up, it seemed so crazy that we were actually getting a 3D Mario game on a handheld. And for the most part, I mean, this is a pretty good game. I think it gets overshadowed a lot by 3D World, but I definitely had a lot of fun playing this game for the first time. It was really interesting to see like classic 2D side-scroller Mario, but now in 3D. Next up, we have Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS. This was also a recent purchase that I never had like too much interest in picking up this game. For one thing, there's basically no online like database for this game. It's not like the Wii U Mario Maker where you can like go online and look for levels. It's basically, you know, you make levels, you share them between 3DS systems, and then you can play them. So I never really understood the point of this game. I just thought it would be fun to have it. It's also really cool to see the new Super Mario Bros. U art style running on the 3DS. But I mean, basically it's a stripped down Mario Maker, which is like, eh. Alright, now we have Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. I believe this is the last game I ever bought for the 3DS when it was brand new. And I think it was because, you know, with Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, there was also obviously Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. So I felt like, you know, why am I still buying these 3DS games when I do have a Wii U? But I mean, you know, this was very just like interesting because obviously it's a Smash Bros. Game running on a 3DS. You can definitely tell that it is very stripped down for Smash Bros, but still I think that's kind of what gives it its charm. Even with all of like the constraints with the hardware, they were still able to pull off Smash Bros. Running on the 3DS. Trying to play Smash Bros. With the circle pad had me so worried that I was just gonna snap the thing off, and that was a very big problem for a while. But I think this is the game that is most surprising that it can even run on the 3DS, so huge props there. Next up, we have Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido. This game is also available on Switch, but I feel like the 3DS version probably works better just because of the fact that you do have the dual screens. Also, I believe this game works using the touch screen, so obviously don't really want to use the Switch for that because then I can't play it in the dock. But I do love me some sushi, so this seems very, very interesting. Once again, this was one of the recent purchases, so I still have yet to try it, but this is also one of the later 3DS games, 2018. That is crazy. And then we have the final game here, Yoshi's New Island. I hear this game isn't really that good. What a sad way to end this video. Once again, this was one of my more recent purchases, so I still have yet to try it, but apparently this game is like too easy to the point where it's just like not even fun. I don't know, I would like to try it at least. Yoshi games have always been like kind of interesting to me. I think the first Yoshi game I ever played was Yoshi's Woolly World on the Wii U. So similar to Kirby, I am like fairly new to Yoshi. But yeah, it's a Yoshi game. I think the art style is kind of cool, so I want to at least give this a shot at some point. By the way guys, I just got some more 3DS games. We have Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D. This one's nice because on the Wii version, you would have to shake the Wii remote in order to like move faster. But now all you have to do is press a button, so that's cool. And then I also picked up Codename Steam. Talk about a game that I didn't even know got released. But I got this used for like $8. I remember being so excited about this game because whenever they would say Codename Steam, I thought they meant like, you know, Valve Steam. But no, this is just like a totally different thing. I'm interested to give it a try, but I don't know if it'll be any good. But that is my entire Nintendo 3DS collection. I think at this point I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think I've gotten all of the games that I do want to have. Maybe Tomodachi Life I want to get, but for the most part I'm pretty happy with my 3DS collection as it is. What is up guys, my name is Chase and it is a very, very sad time here for us Nintendo fans because we are getting dangerously close to the closing of the Wii U and 3DS eShops. A moment of silence for the Wii U and 3DS. Rip in peace. But anyway, I figured now is a better time than any to share with you guys my entire Nintendo Wii U collection. Now before I share with you guys my games, let me just say, I'm not gonna lie, I have gotten rid of a large portion of my Wii U collection. Because for me personally, if there is a better way to play these old Wii U games, whether it's a definitive version on the Switch, or even just a full-on sequel on the Switch, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna get rid of these Wii U games. So if you're wondering why doesn't Chase have Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, just know that I yeeted that game as soon as I could. Anyway, let's get this thing started. Our first Wii U game game here is Guitar Hero Live. I am a huge fan of Guitar Hero. In fact, I have a video on this channel talking about how Guitar Hero made me want to learn how to play the real guitar. And so when Guitar Hero Live was announced as like a reboot of the Guitar Hero franchise, I was so excited to get back into Guitar Hero. Unfortunately, they had to completely wreck Guitar Hero with these new guitars, in my opinion at least. I'm not a huge fan of Guitar Hero Live, to be honest. I think the concept is really cool, like the fact that the audience actually changes depending on how well or how badly you're performing. I don't know, I couldn't really get into Guitar Hero Live, to be honest, so we're not off to a great start here. My next Wii U game is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This was actually the last Wii U game I ever bought. I didn't actually buy this on release day since it did come out on the Switch, but I got this somewhat recently used on eBay. I don't know, I just thought it would be cool to have like the final big Nintendo game on the Wii U. In case you didn't know, Breath of the Wild was like Nintendo's final goodbye to the Wii U, since that game did take like 4 years to come out. However, Breath of the Wild released on the Wii U the same day as the Nintendo Switch, and also the same day that the Nintendo Switch console was released. So at that point, I was already throwing my Wii U in the trash. Not really. But from what I hear, Breath of the Wild on the Wii U isn't really different from the Switch. The gamepad doesn't really have any use, although I would have loved to see a map on the Wii U gamepad like they showed in the demo. So I don't know, I don't think there's really any reason to get Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. I just think it's like a fun historical Wii U game to have in my collection. But you know what game I think is necessary to have on the Wii U? The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD. Fun fact, The Wind Waker HD was actually the first Zelda game I ever played all the way through, and I had a really fun time with this game. I absolutely love the cel-shaded art style, and it really shines in HD. I think the gamepad usage was executed like perfectly for this game. You can have the map on the lower screen, or like you can assign different items to different buttons, or like your item bag. Like there's a whole bunch of different uses for the gamepad. It was just a lovely experience to play this game on the Wii U. Also, I just so happened to have the GameStop Day 1 edition, which has this like golden cover. Next up, we have Lego City Undercover. This is another game that I think can only work on the Wii U. I know this game is available on the Switch, it's on the Xbox and PlayStation. I'm not too sure how those versions work, but what I can say is that this game does a lot of like fun things with the gamepad. It might feel kind of gimmicky, but I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool and fun. And when this game was first revealed, a lot of people said that it was going to be a Lego Grand Theft Auto, and it really does feel like that. You can like hop in people's cars and just drive around. It's surprisingly a very fun Lego experience. So this is a game where I think the definitive version is still the Wii U version. Next up, we have New Super Luigi U. I actually wouldn't be surprised if people don't know about this version of the game. Back in 2013, Nintendo announced the Year of Luigi, and to celebrate the Year of Luigi, they also announced some DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U. And so that's what we ended up getting here. I still think New Super Luigi U is like a super fun and just interesting Mario experience. They took every single level from New Super Mario Bros. U and reworked them into these more tougher and quicker levels, and they actually released a physical version of this, so you bet your butt I had to get on this. I believe this is the only Wii U game with a green case, which is very interesting. And like I mentioned before, I've gotten rid of my Wii U games that I have a substitute for on the Switch, so I don't even have the original New Super Mario Bros. U in my Wii U game collection anymore, but I had to keep New Super Luigi U just because, I don't know, I just think it's cool. Like, this is like a fun little collectible thing. The next game in my Wii U collection is Nintendo Land. I feel like everybody who has a Wii U must have Nintendo Land. This, for the most part, is a pretty fun multiplayer game for the Wii U. For a launch game with the Wii U, I think it does a pretty good job at like showing what the Wii U is about. I think the most mileage you can get from this game are the competitive attractions, mainly, in my opinion, Mario Chase. I feel like with Nintendo Land, they were trying to sort of recapture the magic of Wii Sports, but Nintendo Land feels pretty different entirely. Next up, we have Paper Mario Color Splash. So I might have somewhat of a hot take, but I actually enjoyed Color Splash, and I'm saying that as like not the biggest fan of Paper Mario. I only just recently finished the Thousand Year Door and the original N64 Paper Mario. In fact, Color Splash was the first Paper Mario game I played all the way through. I know people don't like the whole card gimmick on the gamepad. I thought it was okay, and like I had a pretty fun time playing this game. So Paper Mario Color Splash is special to me just because it was my introduction to the Paper Mario series. series. My next game is Rayman Legends. And oh boy, what an interesting game Rayman Legends is. I remember living through the drama that was Rayman Legends. And in case you weren't there to experience it, Rayman Legends was originally supposed to be a Wii U exclusive game. However, since Ubisoft's other game on the Wii U was not performing well, they decided to make Rayman Legends multi-console. Long story short, we got Rayman Legends really late, and it was also available on like every other console. But similar to Lego City Undercover, I think the Wii U version of Rayman Legends is the definitive version, which makes sense because this game was originally supposed to be a Wii U exclusive, so of course it works well on the Wii U. There's some gamepad features where you can like touch and swipe different things in the level. Sometimes you have to tilt the Wii U gamepad. I really enjoyed this game, if anything, just because of the art style. But not only that, they even had like music levels in this game, which was so cool. I do love me some rhythm-based platformers, and I hope someday we get another Rayman game. Please Ubisoft, it's been too long. Let's get more Rayman, please. Next up, we have Splatoon. This is the first ever Splatoon game on the Wii U, and at the time, it felt so different for a Nintendo game. You know, it's this weird game where you're like running around as a squid/kid and shooting other people with ink. It was a really weird concept that obviously still stuck around. And once again, I think the Splatoon game on Wii U is like the definitive Splatoon game. If anything, just because the Wii U gamepad features, where you can actually have the map on the gamepad screen. It's not like Splatoon 2 and 3 where you have to actually pull up the map if you want to super jump to someone. So always having that map on the gamepad screen was actually very helpful. But anyway, it's cool to see where the Splatoon series started. Next up, we have Super Mario 3D World. Of course, we do have Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury on the Nintendo Switch, but Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U does have some gamepad features that are completely absent in the Switch version. So for now, I'm still keeping Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, but just know that this game is in danger. The next game in my Wii U collection is Super Mario Maker. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I learned about a Mario game where you create the levels, I wasn't really the biggest fan. When it comes to like video game design, my creativity is a big fat 0. Anyway, this is another game where we do have a substitution on the Switch with Super Mario Maker 2. However, I think the big difference between Mario Maker on the Wii U and the Switch is the fact that you can use the Wii U gamepad to create your levels. I'm not gonna lie, I think it is super bulky to create levels in Super Mario Maker 2 on the Switch. Mario Maker on the Wii U was nice because you could just use the gamepad screen and still have the TV showing your level. Also, this is one of these Wii U games that has a red case, which is kind of cute. Next up, we have Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. The hype for this game was so exciting. We got a bunch of CG trailers showing the new characters. It was always fun to speculate what the next Smash Bros. Character was going to be, especially in terms of which characters would be returning for Smash Bros. Wii U and which ones would get cut. I'd say it was pretty similar to the hype of the Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC characters. Learning that we would have Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man all in the same game, that was so cool. I also feel like there are some subtle differences between Smash Bros. For Wii U and Smash Bros. Ultimate. For one thing, I think the Smash Bros. For Wii U graphics are much more saturated than the Smash Bros. Ultimate graphics. And in my opinion, I prefer the saturated graphics of Wii U compared to the more neutral graphics in Ultimate. Also, I feel like the controls are like slightly different between the two versions. I feel like the controls in Smash Bros. For Wii U are a lot more snappy and like accurate, whereas with Ultimate, I feel like it's a bit slower and sort of slippery, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, and maybe I'm just crazy. So anyway, I just like keeping Smash Bros. For Wii U in my collection, if anything just because of how exciting it was to finally get this game. Next up, we have Wii Fit U. And not gonna lie, I don't remember the last time I even played this game. I honestly think I tried this game once and then never went back to it. Maybe it's just because I'm totally a lazy gamer, but I always felt like it was such a pain in the butt to have to get out the Wii balance board and then like set everything up. They even had the little fit meter that you can use with this game. So I was honestly surprised to find out that people are pretty dedicated to this game. For me personally, I honestly don't really care for Wii Fit U. I'm sorry. Next up, we have Yoshi's Woolly World. This game is so freaking cute. I remember instantly falling in love with the graphic style in this game. It's very similar to Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's just all around a very cute game. And seeing this art style on Nintendo's first ever HD console, it was really cool. I think it's just beautiful. They even made the Yoshi's Woolly World Amiibo, which are like my favorite Amiibo ever. What a cute game. I love it so much. And the last game in my Wii U collection, not gonna lie, we're kind of ending on a dud. This is Zombie U. This was Ubisoft's big trial in making Wii U exclusive games. It's a zombie survivor horror game that makes use of the gamepad for a bunch of different gimmicks. Not gonna lie, I didn't really get into Zombie U very much. Not only because I am absolutely terrified of anything scary, but also I just didn't really feel like the game was that fun. It got pretty repetitive and confusing for me, I felt like. But I keep this game in my collection just because I think it's cool to have this Wii U exclusive version of Zombie U. In case you didn't know, they actually went and re-released this game as Zombie on the Xbox and I believe PlayStation, but I can at least say that I have the Wii U exclusive one. This one letter in the title makes a big difference. Anyway, that is my entire Wii U collection, at least in terms of physical games. I think it's really fun and kind of funny to look back at the Wii U generation. Things were definitely not the best for us Nintendo fans, but I guess what was nice about the Wii U was that it felt like this exclusive club where even though we were kind of suffering, at least we were suffering together. This video is basically going to be my home shopping network audition.
Amiibo!
What is up guys, my name is Chase and it has been 8 years I think since Nintendo first introduced Amiibo figures. In case you don't know, Nintendo introduced Amiibo figures alongside Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and they were basically Nintendo's answer to games like Disney Infinity or Skylanders. These are near-field communication figures that can actually store and transfer data. So over the years, I've kind of casually collected Amiibo, but I do have an okay collection that I'm pretty happy with. So for today's video, I am going to be sharing my entire Amiibo collection. First things first, we have everybody's favorite guy, Mario. This is the Smash Brothers one. It has this cool little like fireball. And I think the Smash Bros Amiibo in general are always so funny because the characters look so angry. At least Mario does. Look how angry Mario is. He's pissed. But anyway, I don't know, this is like the de facto Amiibo figure, I feel like. So there's Mario Smash Bros Edition. We also have Peach Smash Bros Edition. And just look at the sass on Peach. Much sass. I don't know, this isn't like a game where I can like talk about my experience, it's just a little figure. And it does in fact look like Peach, complete with hands on hips. So there's Smash Bros Peach. Next up we have Monkey Kong. I like how just like ready to go Donkey Kong looks. His tie is blowing in the wind. He just looks so hyped up and ready to go. Also, I'm just now noticing his feet look like hands. Does his feet not look like hands, or is it just me? Also, I will have to say, this isn't my favorite thing ever in Amiibo figures when they have this like semi-transparent stand. I think Zero Suit Samus also has something like this. I mean, I get that, you know, there's no way to have Donkey Kong in this stance without having the stand here, but I think it just makes it look a bit tacky, but I don't know. Next up, we have Duck Hunt from Super Smash Bros. This is another one that has one of these like plastic stands on it. But I mean, hey, there's an actual flying duck, so what could they do? Anyway, I think it's so funny that Duck Hunt was a character in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. What a funny idea for a character. But yeah, this Amiibo figure, of course, is basically a dog, which dogs always win me over, so you had me at dog. It's funny how Smash Bros. Almost portrays the dog and the bird as like best friends. But in the original Duck Hunt, you know, the dog was like basically eating the bird. So anyway, there's Duck Hunt. I actually got this as a 3-pack. We have Rob. Once again, very cool that Rob is even a character in Smash Bros. This is the North American version of Rob. I know there's also like the Japan version, but this is Rob with gray arms and all. A very cool Amiibo, I have to say. It pretty much portrays Rob in a very, very cool way. And I like that his head is tilted, just like dead eyes staring you in the face. And then the third Amiibo in this pack that they were selling is Mr. Game & Watch. Such a weird Amiibo, but I mean, hey, they did what they could do with it. I mean, he's literally just a 2D figure, but it's funny that they gave him like this 3D aesthetic, I guess. And also really cool about this figure is that you can actually take out the Mr. Game & Watch and switch it out with different poses, which is really cool, but really funny to see Mr. Game & Watch as a figure. And then the last Smash Bros. Amiibo I have, at least so far, I know the Minecraft one just came out, I was like debating getting the Minecraft Amiibo, they look kind of cool. Anyway, we have Ganondorf. This was actually the first ever amiibo I got. Funny story, this was actually a gift from one of my brother's exes, and it was the first amiibo I ever got. This is what started me on the trend. I used to love playing as Ganondorf. Ganondorf was basically my main in Smash Bros. Brawl, and this is a cool little figurine of Ganondorf. You know, his cape is blowing in the wind. The cape also has some cool like designs on it, so very, very detailed. I guess since we just talked about Ganondorf, let's go into the Zelda amiibo that I have. Oh wait, I missed a Smash Bros. One. Wait, we have Ryu, or Ryu, I don't know. This one I was excited to get just because it's Street Fighter and Smash Bros, you know, so I thought it was like really like a cool crossover to have. Not gonna lie, I never really got into Street Fighter. I'm not good at traditional fighting games. I feel like I'm only okay at Smash Bros because it's so like cartoonish. But anyway, I just thought this would be a fun amiibo to have because, you know, it's a third-party character. You got his headband blowing in the wind, super duper ripped and jacked. I mean, look how muscular this figure is, oh my goodness. This amiibo figure is goals. Alright, anyway, back to the Zelda amiibo. This is the Breath of the Wild arrow Link. I don't know what it's called. This one is actually cool because they didn't do like the transparent stand. Instead, they have this cloud, which I think looks really, really cool, especially compared to just the regular plain old transparent stand. It looks like Link is like jumping while shooting his guardian arrow. This is actually a very cool amiibo. I haven't actually looked at my amiibo in this much depth in a long time, but these amiibo are like so detailed. It's so cool. But yeah, he even has like his little Sheikah slate. Oh my goodness. He's carrying his little pack of arrows on his back. Of course, the shield. He's got his trademarked ponytail. So this one is really cool. I like this one. We also have a Bokoblin amiibo, which is like pretty cool. He has a little butt and he's wielding his bat. His mouth is like open. He looks all angry and his nose sticks out. That's kind of cute. I mean, this Bokoblin amiibo is pretty like basic, but I mean, hey, there's like little details in here, which is pretty cool. And then my last Breath of the Wild amiibo is the Guardian amiibo. I got this on the launch day of the Switch, I remember. I went to Walmart for a midnight launch and they had the Guardian amiibo, so I had to get one. It's so cool. It's just giant. And I love that the legs are like posable. It's really, really cool. And all like the textures of the Guardian is pretty crazy. I was just excited about it because the box was giant. Obviously, this is a giant amiibo, so it needed a giant box. But yeah, Guardians. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying in Breath of the Wild. So that's it for the Breath of the Wild amiibo, but we do have some extra Zelda amiibo. This is the 30th, I believe, 30th anniversary Link amiibo. It's like a pixel Link, which is very cool. I love that they've made these like pixel amiibo. He has a really big nose, but it's really cool to see these pixelated characters in 3D. He has like a sword on his back and he's carrying a shield. Super duper cool amiibo. And this was released for the anniversary of Zelda, which was really, really fun. And then my last Legend of Zelda amiibo that I have is the Link's Awakening Link amiibo. It's so cute. This is such a cute amiibo. So this obviously came out with Link's Awakening on the Switch. It's so cool. I love when they do amiibo that are like very uniquely designed to match the actual game that they come from. This Link is all glossy and it has like the claymation almost look to it. And he's so tiny. It's so cute. I especially love his facial expression. It's like so, it almost looks like Disney, like Mickey Mouse or something. And he's holding his little sword and shield. Such a cool amiibo. I love this one. So there's Link from Link's Awakening. I guess we'll go into some Animal Crossing amiibo that we have. We have Tom Nook. Of course, I had to get Tom Nook. I hate you. Just joking. Now he's wearing his like old man, like dad sweater. He's got some chunky monkey to him. The base looks like a little cookie. I believe they did Animal Crossing amiibo for, what was that game called? The Animal Crossing game on Wii U that was really bad. Amiibo Festival, that's what it was called. But we had to get Tom Nook almost like as a voodoo doll because we dislike him so much. I'm kidding, Tom Nook. We also have Rover, which is just like a really cute amiibo. He's wearing a little sweater, and that's cute. A sweater with no pants. Classic Animal Crossing character. And then finally, for Animal Crossing amiibo, we have Resetti. Resetti was terrifying in Animal Crossing Wild World. It gave me nightmares. It was always so scary to turn on the game and then Resetti is just there. I think they've kind of made Resetti less scary nowadays. But yeah, this is his amiibo. He's got his little pickaxe and his little headlamp. He's a chunky guy. But of course, we had to get a Resetti amiibo. I basically got the Animal Crossing amiibo, you know, for the characters who are the most like notable from Animal Crossing. Alright, we'll do some Mario characters next, I guess. We have the Super Mario Bros. 30th Anniversary Pixelated amiibo. Similar to the Link amiibo, this one is just so cool. I actually think this one is cooler than the Link pixelated amiibo just because it has this really cool base on the bottom. It's a pipe from Mario, and it says Super Mario Bros. 30th on it. Super duper cool, I love this amiibo. As you can see, Mario's in his trademark jumping pose. I believe this was released alongside Super Mario Maker for the Wii U. They also had that old school looking Mario amiibo which came exclusive with the Mario Maker Wii U. I honestly think this one looks cooler. I like the colored look of Mario compared to that other one. But anyway, this is such a cool amiibo. I love the pixelated amiibo. Next up, we have the Gold Mario amiibo. I don't even know why they released these, I forget, but I remember there was a Gold Mario and a Silver Mario, and for a while these amiibo were just impossible to find, but I think my brother got me this for Christmas or something, and it's a really cool amiibo. It's just Mario in gold, but the gold looks really cool. I also picked up Bowser from Super Mario Odyssey. This one's a really funny amiibo just because I love seeing Bowser dressed up like this. He is a pointy guy. This shell is actually like super duper pointy, but he's got like his white wedding suit on. He's reaching out for a hand. Here, Bowser, you can have my hand. And funny enough, the texture is actually really cool on this amiibo. Like his hat has like this like rough texture on it, but then his suit has like this glossy texture, which is like really cool. Really funny to see Bowser get all dressed up like this. The absolute drip. And we also have the Cat Mario amiibo, which was released alongside Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury on the Switch. To be honest, I just saw this amiibo at a GameStop one day and I was like, that looks cool, I think I want it. And it is a very cool amiibo. I like the texture of it. It looks like, you know, like a cat. And it has Mario in his like jumping pose. I don't know. I mean, it's Mario dressed as a cat. What can you say? Lots of detail in this cat Mario. Next up, we have the collection of Yarn Yoshis. I love these amiibo so much. These are like the coolest amiibo ever. They look like someone individually like hand knit them, which is like so cool. This was released alongside Yoshi's Woolly World. And when I first saw these amiibo, I just knew I had to get the collection of them. These are probably like my favorite amiibo ever. Even the tags match their color. That's so cute. And then lastly, we have some just like random miscellaneous amiibo that I've picked up. This is the giant Detective Pikachu amiibo. Not gonna lie, I'm not even that much into Pokemon. I've never played Detective Pikachu, but this amiibo is just like so crazy. I couldn't believe that they made an amiibo this big. And out of all characters, it's Detective Pikachu. But this is a really cool amiibo. I like his hat. His hat looks like really like textured. Like it looks like he's wearing an actual hat. And he almost looks like a crossing guard. He's like, hey, stop. And then what's also really cool is that the base has this like map design on it, which I guess matches the game. But I mean, I just love how big this amiibo is. It's literally like the size of my hand. It's so big. So there's Detective Pikachu. And then the last amiibo that I have, which is actually the last amiibo I ever bought, is the Kirby amiibo. I believe this is actually the same Kirby amiibo that was released with Kirby Planet Robobot, but then they just recently re-released Kirby amiibo for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I mean, what can you say? It's Kirby, so of course it's gonna be super duper cute. It's literally just a round pink ball, but it's so cute. He's riding a little star. I like the color scheme of the blue base is really cool. I mean, it's just a cute little Kirby, so of course it's awesome. But that is my entire amiibo collection. Oh gosh, I just realized what I got myself into. What is up guys, my name is Chase and beep beep, we have a big video here. So just a few months ago, it was March 2022, which is the 5-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch, and I thought it would be fun, to maybe go through all of my Switch games. So this is all of my Nintendo Switch games up to March 3rd, 2022, which does mean no Kirby in the Forgotten Land, no Switch Sports, everything that was literally in the first 5 years of the Switch. Let's do this, oh boy. So first off here, we have 1-2 Switch. The first trailer for this game came out at the Nintendo Switch January 2017 presentation. It seemed like this was going to be like the next Wii Sports, which obviously, you know, nobody really talks about this game anymore, I'm sorry. For the most part, it was fun. I don't know, I played this with a bunch of friends the very first day that it came out, and we had fun going through all the little mini games. This really like showed what the Joy-Con were all about. There were games games that use the IR sensor, the HD rumble, and motion controls. But yeah, for the most part, this was just a one and done game. I don't know, I feel bad because I imagine so much work went into this game. And I mean, it's kind of cute, like not gonna lie, like it's cute how they originally intended this game to be like a very social type of game. You're not supposed to even really like use the Switch at all. But yeah, anyway, I gotta move on quick because we have a bunch of games to go through. This was 1-2 Switch. Next up, we have ARMS. Same thing with 1-2 Switch. This was announced during the January 2017 presentation, and similarly to 1-2 Switch, this game just kind of evaporated after a little while, which I feel so bad about. I feel like out of all of the like launch Switch games, this one had the most potential to be like super duper cool. I don't know, I feel like if there was more DLC with more characters, more game modes, like if they fully fleshed out ARMS, it could have been a really fun time. And there was a time in 2017 when I got really into ARMS. Like I was dedicating my life to becoming the next ARMS professional. I really like that there is the option between button controls and motion controls. Oh yeah, and then this game came out with the yellow Joy-Con, which I think are probably one of my favorite colored Joy-Con. Next up, we have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. This is a game that I am surprised was ported to Switch. Like out of all the Wii U games they could have brought over to Switch, they chose Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. It's cute, I guess. Like, I feel like if I talk about this game, I'm just gonna be talking about a Wii U game. Not gonna lie, I played through the main game, you know, again after playing it on the Wii U. I did not even get to the Mario Odyssey courses, which I do actually want to check out. I did, however, just recently buy the DLC. I forgot about that. There was DLC for this game for some reason. But anyway, I don't know, Captain Toad, it's a cute little game, like cute little puzzles and stuff, based on the mini games in Mario 3D World. I do love me some Toad. Ooh, this is like one of my newest Switch games. Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics. This game is pretty fun, I like it. I bought this used, which I think was probably the best way for me to get this game. I don't think it's worth the full price, which I don't even know what it is. I think it's like 45 to 50 US dollars. I think I got it for like 30. It's just 51, you know, mini games basically. You get stuff like Mancala, chess, checkers, Chinese checkers, like there's just a bunch of games to play in here. And it's nice because you hop into the game and you can just easily choose a board game to play. This game has also introduced me to the dangers of 21 blackjack. I shouldn't play card games in Vegas. Next up, we have Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. Not gonna lie, I don't know why I bought this game on Switch. This might have been before I had a PlayStation, I forget. I got a PlayStation 4 in 2018. I just feel like Crash Bandicoot games, you know, feel more natural on PlayStation, so I don't know why I bought this. But these are the 3 classic Crash games. The first Crash Bandicoot game is a hard as balls game, but I beat it. Give me a medal. Speaking of Crash Bandicoot, we have Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Why did I buy this on Switch as well? Maybe I bought this on Switch because I thought it could be the next Mario Kart. I have like vague memories of playing this game on our original PlayStation, like the first PlayStation, so this was kind of cool to play. I believe I played this like a few times and I never played it again. I should probably go back to this and try to actually play through the whole game. I mean, it's not that it's a bad game or anything. It's fun. There are just too many games, guys. Too many games. Speaking of having too many games, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the second time ever. This is once again a Wii U port. I played the original Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii U. It was my first Donkey Kong Country game. Really liked it. So I don't know, I actually didn't mind buying this game again and then replaying it again. There's basically no new content in this game. Like there's the new funky mode, which is so funky. But for the most part, this is literally the Wii U game. I mean, the gamepad didn't even have anything on it when you played it on the Wii U, so this is pretty much the exact same experience. But I mean, heck, like, I didn't mind playing this game for a second time. Very good game, very tough game, but still very fun. Ooh, I love this game. A Hat in Time. Feel free to go check out my review video on youtube.com/ChaseYama, but this is a super duper fun indie game. It's basically a modern day like N64 3D platformer game. Super duper fun game. It includes the DLC. Unfortunately, it does not run that well on the Switch, which I was kind of, you know, bummed about. But I mean, still playable and, you know, still a fun time. I super duper loved this game. And although Kirby and the Forgotten Land did not make the 5-year cut, we did have Kirby Star Allies. I hear a lot of the criticism about this one is that it's too easy. Not gonna lie, I don't even remember much of this game, which might just show how easy it was. that sucks. All my games fail. The one thing I will remember about this game is the boss battle. I remember the boss battle was super duper epic. So I don't know, this one was a pretty fun time. How about let's stack the games over here so I don't freaking drop all my video games again. And here's a really big one, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I bought this game on launch day with the Switch, and thank goodness this game launched with the Switch because Breath of the Wild was pretty much the only game to play on the Switch for like the first few months. And it was like the perfect game to be able to play through a couple months, you know, because there's so much to do in this game. I basically spent the time between Breath of the Wild and whatever the next game was, which might have been Mario Kart. I just tried to collect a bunch of Korok seeds and that lasted me for quite a few months. I feel like this game out of any of the games on the Switch, like this game really shows how much they can pack into this tiny little cartridge, you know? Like it's so crazy how big of a world is just on this tiny little thing. But yeah, Breath of the Wild, man, this was a crazy time. Basically the opposite, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which is like cute little tiny things. This was my first time ever playing Link's Awakening, and this was a fun time. I had a really fun time with this. Art style is like my favorite thing ever. I hope the next 2D Zelda game we see is similar to this art style because I love it. Oh yeah, and you can watch me beat this game on this channel right here. But anyway, for my first time playing, I had a lot of fun. This was cool. And then next up we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Once again, my first time ever playing Skyward Sword. And once again, we have a full review video of this game up on this channel. Feel free to go check it out. It took me quite a while to get used to the controls, but for the most part, by the end of the game, I think I was pretty used to it. The cutscenes, very pretty, very cute, very emotional. But overall, fun time, fun time. I would be the worst video game reviewer, like, professionally, because, like, all of my little, like, IGN scores would be, like, 9 out of 10. Fun time. Anyway, we have Luigi's Mansion 3, which, speaking of fun times, this was a fun time. This game, I remember, came out Halloween, I want to say 2019, and this was such a crazy thing, such a weird timing thing. I remember it was during a Nintendo Direct where Luigi's Mansion 3 was just randomly announced, and I got so excited because Luigi's Mansion is a series that, like, we rarely ever see, you know? Like, the first one came out in, like, 2001, I think, on the GameCube. Then Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon came out in 2013, you know, 12 years later. And then we got this one, I believe, 5 or 6 years later. But I feel like out of any of the Luigi's Mansion games, like, this one, you are getting your money's worth for it. Quite a long game, but very fun. Lots of, like, fun little puzzles and stuff. I just hope they continue making Luigi's Mansion games, because I love this series. Next up, we have Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Confession, I have not beat this game, and this was like, I remember 2017 during the first year of the Switch. There's a point in this game where it gets really, really tough. I mean, very, very possible that I'm just stupid. I got stuck in this game, and that's why I stopped playing it. Maybe I should try to go back to it, I don't know. But for the most part, this was really cool, if anything, just to see Nintendo actually try something super different and give their IP out to another studio to work with. But yeah, this was like just a crazy thing that happened. And then we have the sequel to this coming out this year, so very exciting. We got Mario Golf Super Rush. I posted a review video of this game on this channel. Feel free to go check it out. Pretty fun golf game to have on the Switch. Once again, I really like the Super Rush mode where you hit the ball and then go on the field and run after your ball. Oh yeah, and the few times that I did play online in this game, it actually worked pretty well, so that's cool. And then next up we have probably my favorite game on the Switch, possibly ever, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Man, what can you say about this game? It just does not stop selling. It's interesting that this is a Wii U game that has lasted so long. And of course we are getting the booster course pass until the end of 2023. So this game just does not want to quit. As badly as we just want to move on from this, it just does not quit. But I mean, hey, I love Mario Kart and I will always come back to this game. So much fun. I can't wait for the next Mario Kart, please. Next up, we have Mario Party Superstars. We have a review video of this game up on this channel. Feel free to go check it out. This is a collection of the first 10 mainline Mario Party games, and it is a fun time. We got some classic N64 boards remade in HD, as well as some mini games from the first 10 Mario Party games, all in HD. Looks really, really nice. And there's also an online mode in this game, which actually works pretty darn well. But Mario Party Superstars, I think this is like the definitive Mario Party game to get on the Switch. Next up, we have Mario Tennis Aces. This was a pretty fun Mario Tennis game, I think. I thought the single player was kind of interesting, especially since there's like boss battles and stuff. I played online quite a bit with this game and I got my butt kicked. If you really need a Mario Tennis game for the Switch, then, you know, there's this one. You have options. You have option. Next up, we have Miitopia, which once again, feel free to go check out the review video I made for this game up on this channel. But turns out this is a 3DS game ported to the Switch, which I actually had no idea about. It's an RPG game where you can cast all of the characters as your own personal Miis. Very fun to see all your friends and family, or even like celebrities, in this little RPG adventure. You have a bunch of turn-based battles, some like fun interactions between characters. Next up, we have new Pokemon Snap, which, not gonna lie, still have not beat this game. I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan just because I don't like backtracking and like redoing stuff over and over again. It's not my favorite thing in the world, which is basically what new Pokemon Snap is. You're going through these levels and, you know, getting the best pictures that you can possibly get and just redoing the same levels over and over, trying to get even better pictures. But I am glad to see that we did get another game in this series. I love it in video games when we just randomly get a new entry to a series that has not been touched for like years and years. And speaking of new, we have new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is definitely not new. This was another Wii U game that I did not expect to be ported over to the Switch. If anything, just because I was surprised that they just ported a Mario game on here instead of like making a new one. So this includes new Super Mario Bros. U as well as new Super Luigi U from the Wii U. I also think it's funny that we will forever be reminded of the Wii U on the Switch. But I guess luckily the gamepad had very limited function in new Super Mario Bros. U, so this was like a pretty simple port. We don't get any new content once again. We do get different characters to play as. We get to play as Mario, Luigi, Nabbit, and Toadette, who turns into Peachette, which is like such a weird thing for me to wrap my head around. Which I do think is a bummer because now every time you play 4 players, 1 player is going to be stuck with either Nabbit or Toadette, which are like the easier characters to play as. Like, I don't know, I liked it in the new Super Mario Bros. Games when it was just Mario, Luigi, and 2 different Toads and they all played the same. Like, this just gives a forced advantage to other players when you play multiplayer, which is kind of like a bummer. But I mean, whatever, like, I have to make a confession. I am such a sucker for 2D Mario, so I was like so excited to replay this game. Just give me more 2D Mario, like I don't mind. I'll buy the next 2D Mario game. And then next up we have our Labo cartridges. I don't even know what these are called. But we have Toy-Con 1, which was the variety kit. And then we have Toy-Con 4, which was the VR kit. Labo was a weird time. For me, the fun just came out of like building these things out of cardboard. I did not even touch the discover part of Labo. I just built them, I played these mini games, and then called it a day. But I don't know, I'm sure somebody liked Labo. For me, it was fun for the first few times that I played with it, and then I was just kind of like over it, so I don't know, interesting experiment, but in the long run, I don't know if it was worth it. Next up, we have Paper Mario the Origami King, which I also have a review video on this channel, feel free to go check it out. This was the second Paper Mario game I've ever played all the way through. The first one I ever played through was Color Splash, so I didn't really have like too much knowledge about Paper Mario, especially with the origins of it. For the most part, I enjoyed this game. We love Olivia. Olivia's such a freaking sweetheart. And this may be an unpopular opinion, but I do like the new Paper Mario games just for like the comedy. If I remember correctly, Color Splash had some really good comedic moments. Origami King does as well. Gameplay wise, I don't know, it's interesting. Like the first few times I was doing these little like circle things, it was interesting. Next up we have Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which once again is a Wii U game ported over to the Switch. Not gonna lie, have not even popped this in my Switch yet. I'm saving it for the perfect moment. I did get Pikmin 3 on the Wii U originally because I think there was some kind of a deal where if you pre-ordered Mario Kart 8, I want to say, you got a free game either between Pikmin 3, Game & Wario, or Wii Party U, I think it was. So I played a little bit of Pikmin 3 but never even got close to finishing it. Hopefully this will be my time. Alright, we gotta start whipping through these pretty quickly. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond. Have not beat the Elite Four, very hard. I don't know if I ever will. But I really like the chibi art style, very cute. And it's the first time I ever played this game, so interesting times. Pokemon Sword, the first ever Pokemon game I played all the way through. We streamed it on Twitch. It was nice to get some help from chat. I know people have a lot of complaints that this game was too easy. Since it was my first ever Pokemon game, it worked out for me actually. So there's that. Ring Fit Adventure. Out of all the games that I stopped playing, I think this one is the most embarrassing that I've stopped playing. I don't even think it's even worth it trying to make an excuse. I just stopped playing Ring Fit Adventure. I gotta get back into it. But it's very fun. I have to say, the few times I've played Ring Fit Adventure, very fun. Very clever way to get us all to exercise, Nintendo. We have Runner 3, really enjoyed the Bit Trip Runner games. This is the third entry. Actually, when I met Charles Martinet at a convention, I talked to him about this game because, you know, he is the narrator, and we actually had this nice little conversation about this game and how apparently the studio was like running out of money as they were making this game, so that's why the levels are very short. But in any case, I don't know, I still had fun. I love the Runner games, but good grief, the boss is hard. That's actually why I have not finished this game yet. The boss is very difficult. Next up, we have Splatoon 2. I don't know, what is there to say about this game? I really liked the single player. I hope Splatoon 3 has an even more in-depth single player mode. I mean, the online is fun too, but I really enjoyed this game just for the single player. But yeah, Splatoon 3 coming out this year, so this will become obsolete. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I just realized the back of this box is very jank. It looks like they made this in like a Word document. I'm sorry to whatever intern worked on the back cover for this game. But I had fun with this game. It was the first time I ever actually finished Battle for Bikini Bottom. Like, I always started it because we had a copy on the GameCube, but I never actually finished it. This was my first time actually finishing it. Fun times. Does not run that well on Switch though, unfortunately. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Once again, we have a review of this game on this channel. Feel free to go check it out. My first time beating Mario 64 and Sunshine. Kinda wish they did more to the graphics, but hey, it's nice to get all these games preserved on the Switch. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, another Wii U game ported over to the Switch, and this one I am actually very glad that it made it onto the Switch. Granted, some of the gamepad elements are kinda janky on the Switch, but for the most part, this is a fun time. Bowser's Fury is like one of the coolest Mario games we've gotten in a hot minute, and I don't know if I mentioned, but we have a review video of this game as well on this channel. Feel free to go check it out. Super Mario Maker 2. This was fun if anything because it came with a free 12-month membership for Nintendo Switch Online. The single player mode in this game, surprisingly pretty fun. I wish it was longer. Unfortunately, no gamepad support means that it is not as fun making levels on this game. Ooh, Super Mario Odyssey. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Oh my god, I love this game. All the worlds to explore are so fun. Cappy is very fun to use. And finding all the moons is just a fun time. I can't wait if they ever make another Mario Odyssey game. I hope they make another one. Super Mario Party, the very inferior Mario Party game for the Switch, unfortunately. This game could have been so good. Unfortunately, it forces you to use a single Joy-Con. At the time of its release, there was no like proper online. Granted, they added it later on. But yeah, I mean, it was like the best Mario Party game they've made for a little while there. Like 9 and 10 weren't the best games ever, but also it's not like classic Mario Party levels, unfortunately. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, my first ever Super Monkey Ball game. I wanted the special edition. Still have to finish this game, but for the most part, I'm having a fun time so far. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Everyone is here. What can you say? I wish so badly that there was a better single player mode. I'm honestly a little bit glad that the DLC characters are finally over. Cause one thing, Sakurai can get some rest, but also it's like, there's almost too many characters in this game, like it feels overwhelming. But I guess that's why it's Ultimate. WarioWare Get It Together. I have a review video of the demo for this game up on this channel, feel free to go check it out. You're basically mini WarioWare characters playing in micro games, and it works surprisingly well. A lot better than I would have thought it would work. Oh god, we're on the final one. Yoshi's Crafted World. This is a cute game. Similar to Kirby, a little bit too easy to the point where I can't even like remember some of the levels. Like, I can't even tell you what the boss battle is in this game. I'm pretty sure it's Bowser Jr. and Kammy Koopa, but I can't remember what it actually was like. Like, it doesn't stick out in my memory. But I mean, hey, it's cute. Yeah. Anyway, that was my entire Nintendo Switch game collection for the first 5 years. That is a lot of games. But I really like that we have like a little bit of everything, like we have something for everyone on the Switch, which, you know, really nice. God bless Nintendo. Feel free to let me know in the comments what your guys' favorite Switch games are. If you like this video, feel free to check out more of my Nintendo videos below. For now, thank you for watching my entire Nintendo Switch collection video. My name is Chase, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye.